So, hello ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
And once again we're here to discuss that lovely, happy, lively dance, the Quickstep. And once again we'd like to give you a little of its origins. The Quickstep has its foundations based on the slow foxtrot. It was introduced as a dance in 1914 in New York. Many changes and adaptations were made to the dance in the early years. For example, it was called the one-step and then the Charleston. The Star Professional Championships of 1927 was the event where the Quickstep was first introduced and given its name. It was a dance interpretation by Frank Ford. Subsequently, the dance changed in the 1950s by Wally Fryer and Violet Barnes, which was a sensation at the time and influenced the Quickstep that we dance today. And now, John would like to identify the dance for you.
So we come on to the identification of Quickstep. Effectively, it has to be split into two categories. First of all, the smooth, running, flowing, swinging type of Quickstep. And second, the current trend of hopping, leaping, skipping, split beat timing, quicker version of the Quickstep. As for the waltz, the skill of swinging two bodies around the floor with good balance, good posture, requires a great deal of skill. However, the quicker version of the Quickstep, because of the poise, which is towards the front part of the toe, requires a different set of skills. And what we'd like to do, we'd like to look at these skills a little later. So we are on Quickstep. The three fundamentals that we'll be referring to throughout the Quickstep will be centering, the usage of feet, and timing and phrasing. The three fundamentals we'll be referring to. What we've done, actually, we've split the Quickstep up into three categories to try and help you to develop and understand your own Quickstep. What we've done, we've taken two simple ideas, first one being locks, and the second one, step hops. With these two ideas, we've made developments with them. So we've taken the basic lock, and we're going to show you our developments with that. And we've also taken the step hop as our second category, and we've shown various developments of that. The third category, which we'll be discussing later on in the tape, it's Quickstep ideas, popular figures, and we'll be, of course, discussing them and breaking them down. So just to clarify, we've got three sections. We've got locks as the first theme, second, step hops, and the third, Quickstep ideas. What we'd like to do now, we'd like to move on to the first category, which is locks, and we'd like to dance for you the various themes that we want to show you. As you've just seen, ladies and gentlemen, that's our basic lock with its four developments. We've chosen the locks as a theme to work on and to talk about, because without the lock, the Quickstep wouldn't be possible. Very important ingredients for the Quickstep. Let's go through, first of all, the basic lock, talking about the three fundamentals that we're going to be discussing throughout the Quickstep. Just to remind you, centering, usage of feet, and timing. So first of all, let's go and remind you about the basic lock. Okay, so basic lock. Coming forwards, slow, quick, quick, slow. as you can see, the usage of the feet for the lock is imperative. I know years and years ago, my teacher used to make me go up and down the floor just doing locks to get in the habit of making the feet tidy and for also using those toes to stretch them out. I can just hear them now saying, onto the foot, stretch the toe, close and stretch out, to keep on using and stretching the feet. Very important ingredients. I'll just show you again. If you just look at my feet as I'm actually doing this now, I'm going on, I'm locking and I'm stretching out. Very important aspect to consider. Centering, of course, very important on this figure, basically because we're going outside partner, so we need to be angled towards our partner as we're moving in this line. Otherwise, we'll be rotated and we'll be dancing side to side. So important that you've got the feeling of a shoulder lead on the toes and you're moving forwards. And I know my teacher kept advising me to keep on doing this up and down the floor, feeling the high arches of the feet being used for the full stretch. Okay? So look, what we'd like to do now, we'd like to move on to the development of the drop lock. Of course, what we're aware of here, the alternative timing of slow and quick. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to dance for you now, so if you can just look at my feet to check this timing. Slow and quick. Again, same principle as before, using the feet, center in to lady, and of course the alternative timing, and slow and quick. Very important. I'll just turn around and do the same. Slow and quick. Okay, that's the two basic locks. We've got the basic lock and the drop lock. I'd like to show the second development in a minute, but first of all I'd like to invite Anne onto the floor to discuss the locks on the ladies' side.
So I would now like to talk about 2 points, one being foot usage and the other centering and body position in the 2 figures that John talked about, the basic lock and the drop lock. So first of all, we're going to zoom in on the feet, and I'm going to dance the basic lock step, moving backwards on my right foot. And as I bring my left foot in front of my right foot, I'm going to release the toe of my left foot as I cross the foot in front. You can just see that there before I cross. Now that is a very important feature of the basic lock step, releasing the toe before the lock goes into position. And what I see many times is the lady do not release their toe and they do something like this. Now, just for a moment, I would like us to talk about the drop lock using the same feature. And here now, because of the timing we have, slightly different timing, slow and quick, we don't have the time to release the toe. So therefore, at this moment, I'll just do this once again, going back, slow and quick. As you can see, it's acceptable. Do that once again. From here, and slow and quick. It's acceptable to release the heel and the toe of the foot and bring it in front of the right one in the lock step. So there's just a note there. If you do a basic lock step, make sure you dance the correct footwork when you're going backwards with your left foot. The second point I would like to make, which is again a fundamental error I see in lady dancers, is that a lock step is a movement where the man is going outside partner. And at this moment, if I as lady, again I'll just show you what's happening here, if I as lady go straight back in a line behind my left foot, as you can see there, what's going to happen is it's going to make me turn the lock. So I'll just do that once again. I'm moving backwards. If I take the foot behind the left there, you see I'm going to turn the lock. And what should be happening here is the foot position of the right foot should be moving more or less underneath my right shoulder, moving in a diagonal line. It's a diagonal line, and then when I dance the lock step, Of course, the line of movement I have chosen will be correct. Man will be able to move outside partner very easily. And the most important thing about that is, of course, our centres will remain together and I will not rotate within our frame. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask John to come and join me on the floor, and we're going to dance these 2 lop steps for you once again, showing you the correct footwork and body position.
I'd like now to move on to another version of the locks. I'm sure you've probably never heard of this or seen it. It's a figure from the early 50s, and it was invented by the great Sid Perking. He was my teacher when I was a very young child, and what he did, he amalgamated 1 lock, and then he danced 2 locks, and then he danced 3 locks, and it was commonly called the Perking Pata. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to dance it for you slowly, concentrating on the feet, and then we would like to talk about it later. So first of all, I'd like to show you the amalgamation of the step. It's first of all 1 lock, going into 2 locks, going into 3 locks. Okay, I'll show you backwards, again on the feet. So it's 1 lock, going into 2 locks, going into 3 locks. Okay, what I'd like to do now, I'd like to just to give you the timing. So we'll show the whole body and we'll dance it through slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, 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 slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slow. Okay, we'll dance that once more, and I'll dance it from here. So we've got slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slow. Now this danced in a large room with an enthusiastic audience going for you, zooming straight down, was a terrific figure. And I'd like to think that the figure could become popular. 1 or 2 people have danced it since the 50s, but I feel it's a good opportunity to have your straight line action, just like a train zooming down. So I'll just dance it small for you because of the limited space, and try to dance for you at regular speed, concentrating again on the feet, and slow. As you can see, very fast, but very exciting, very exciting. Now, basically with this, the usage of feet is imperative. Of course, to be able to have the dexterity to be able to use the feet so quickly, and of course being on time, but as I mentioned before, has got great value. What I'd like to do now, I'd like to move on to our next chassé, next lock, which will be the stutter lock. Well, we'd like to move on to our third development of the locks, that being the stutter lock. I'm sure you'll recognise when you actually see it. Very popular now in the competitive style of Quickstep. Beautiful figure, actually gives you the acceleration and the speed and the interest of feet that you need for today's Quickstep, or could we call it the trick step. So I'd just like to show you the figure slowly once more again concentrating on the feet, very important. So I'll move backwards now, and step up, quick and quick and quick, quick. I'll show you once more, coming now of course from the step hop, and step up, quick and quick and quick, quick. Okay, as you can see, if this was amalgamated with other groups, which I'll just dance for you now, how interesting it can be. So I'll incorporate it now with step up chasses and continue on with this figure. So just have a look how interesting it can be whilst I dance around the floor. Okay, you can see a very intricate type of step, but very popular and very nice step. This can be danced from a closed or an open position. If I just show you now in the whole body, from here, from a promenade position, step hop, quick and quick, 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 and the other way, step hop, quick and quick, quick, quick. In a closed position, step up, quick and quick, 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 and step up, quick and quick and quick, quick. Very nice acceleration to the body. This was a popular figure coming from the basic lock. I think people found that their acceleration of body coming through made the normal lock too slow for them. So this was the stutter lock. I think the English word for stutter means to break with it. So it gave it the opportunity to accelerate through for today's kind of quick step. What I'd like to do now, I'd like to bring Anne onto the floor, and we'll dance a few step hops around the floor together. And again, I'd like you to concentrate on the feet. Anne. Okay, you're looking at the feet, concentrate on the feet. Ba, ba, ba.
So I would now like to take a look at the tipple locks to the left from promenade position, and we're going to look in this step at centering and timing. So first of all, we're going to take a look at centering, and I'm going to stand in promenade position. And the important feature of this step is the centering, because it's a very simple step, but through the actions of centering from both man and lady, it can look very attractive. So I'm going to move through into promenade position for slow, and at this moment here, because we'll be turning to the left, the man will be rotating very strongly in his upper body, and he's going to have centripetal force here. I will be angling my centre very positively towards him and allowing my head weight to remain in a fairly static sort of position whilst my centre turns towards him. And then from there, once we've achieved this position, you can see the strong centering there and the dynamic curve going up through the body. I'm going to maintain this position as we move into promenade position. So I'll just do that once again for you. There we are, there's the first step, and it's at this moment now the man starts to curve to the left and I will join him there, turning my centre towards him, but keeping the head more or less in a vertical line with the foot. So the centre will be rotating, so the middle section of my body is going to be rotating forward. And then from there, of course, we'll continue dancing the curve to the left. The man will be doing exactly the same thing with his centre, rotating that strongly towards me, and we're both going to have a dynamic curve from the top of the head to the midline of the body. So just a note now about the timing. In our example demonstration we did for you a little earlier on, we used the timing of slow, quick, 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 quick. But I think it's also important to know that this step can be danced with slightly easier timing, and of course if you're at an earlier stage in your dancing, it's a good important note to have that we can build our timing up, so we can actually have more acceleration. Once we've been able to do the base timing, we can build up our timing so that we're improving our skills all the time. So a timing I would suggest at an earlier stage of your dancing would be from here: slow, quick, quick, slow, slow. And what that does is it gives you a chance to recover from the promenade position and dance the last part of an open change, so that you can recover to promenade position without feeling that you're having to rush and pull your partner. So there's 2 points there, one about the centering and the other about timing. So I'd like John to join me on the floor now, and we're going to dance that figure for you, showing you those two aspects. Slow, quick, slow, slow. So that brings us to the conclusion regarding the heading that we had of the locks. Just to clarify, what we tried to do for you there was to build up your timing and build up the difficulty of the lock. So of course we started with the basic lock step with the base timing, and then of course we went into the tipple locks to the left and the stutter locks, the Perkin patter and the drop lock. So you can build up your skills by practicing those steps, and hopefully your quick step will become more interesting. So we're now going to come on to the next subject, which will be the hops.
So we come on to a very important step for quick step, the most popular step for the quick step, the step hop. Right, what we're going to show you, we're going to show you the basic step hop and 4 of the step hop developments. Of course, there was many combinations and many varieties of step hops, but what we've done for you today is to select 4 of the step hops, and again we're going to relate the 3 fundamentals that we've been discussing throughout the quick step, again those being centering, the usage of the feet and timing. So there you've seen it, ladies and gentlemen. You saw our basic step hop, and the 4 developments that we're going to discuss. I'll move on to the double step hop first to discuss. So we've got a double step hop to a chassis, which is a very popular amalgamation. I'm sure something that is included within your own routine, so I think it's quite relevant for us to discuss it. I think, again, moving on to the 3 fundamentals that we're going to be discussing, the centre, the usage of feet and the timing. I think I'd like to talk about centering and the usage of feet combined together relative to this step hop chassis. So if I just move back a little bit, first of all, I'll be discussing the usage of the feet. So from here in this double step hop, rising up the usage of the arches before we start, feeling that you're using the inside edge of the foot. And when you come through from here, you can actually step hop. Very important aspect here is the usage and the shaping of the trailing foot. Too many times you see people with a unstyled, probably can call it better, an unstyled free leg. So I'll just do it once more, and again, emphasizing on the feet, not only the using of the foot, but the free leg as well. So I'll just do that now for you. So we've got the usage of the standing leg, and the free leg is also going to be used. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that you've got some articulation and styling with the feet. I'd like to talk about centering now. So from here, as you're doing the step hops, the center should be angled towards the lady. The reason for this is quite obvious in the beginning, is to keep the 2 bodies together, but also so that there is some shape coming out of the step hop. As we know, if we put, as our body works in a zigzag, if one is in, the other becomes out. So to enable the head to be on the outside of the circle, it's important to feel that the center is angling in. So if I just do that for you once more, center into girl, step up. And we can do it again to, let's say, here, and step up. So we can feel some shape coming in to the action. So what I'd like to do now, I'd like to dance this once more with Anne. So I'd like to invite her onto the floor, and we'll just do, again, a series of step hops, thinking about the feet, and then we'd like to dance it once more, and we'll concentrate then on the shape. So the first time with the feet, and second time with the body. Okay, thank you very much. I'd like now to move on with the second development of our step hops, and that being the quick step hops.
So I'm now going to discuss the quick step hops, talking about centering this time, because this is one of the steps that you often see competitively, and at a later stage in your competition, I'm sure some of you find that you start to get a little tired perhaps, and this is one of the steps that can look rather heavy if we're not too careful about body position. So it has a great deal of relevance here, and I think we should look at that now. So if I just move back slightly, starting in promenade position, and the subject again is centering. We start in promenade position here, and the important thing now is the movement that's going to come now at this moment. Man's moving on the outside of turn, I'm on the inside of turn, and I'm sure you remember this position in some of our other tapes that we've talked about, this very same position, the natural promenade turn position. And in this particular case, my arms will be rotating first, upper body first as I move forward. There you can see that man's turning around me. So I have rotation in the upper body, man's turning, and then from there we can now start the hop. So I'm going to move forward then, hopping around each other. So really, once we have achieved our common closed position once again from promenade, that position will be maintained throughout. So in a way, if you can practice making sure that from that promenade position, ladies in particular, you'll be moving, turning your arms and then progressing, and the gentleman, if I just dance the man step there, I'm moving around lady at this moment, you can see, and recovering to a normal position. So it's particularly important there. Man turns his centre to partner, making sure that his head weight is not in her swing path. If I had my head weight now, as you can see, it's over the right side of my body. It's going to be very difficult for the lady to move forward then, because I would of course be blocking her. So I have to rotate around her, moving my head weight positively to the left as the gentleman, and as lady, I'm going to be swinging, turning my arms with my partner, maintaining my own line, of course, head to the left. And once we've achieved that, you will hop quickly, brightly and lightly around the floor with super style. So I'm going to ask John to come onto the floor now, and we're going to dance that again for you, showing this feature from promenade position.
So we'd like to move on now to the straight step hops. With this, it's a very simple figure, but can be very exciting in the middle of a competition, charging around the room. I'll just like to show you the basic version, and then I'd like to show you some variations of timing that can be achieved with this. So if I just move back now, and then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So the basic amalgamation of this is quite simple. It's just step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop. Quite a simple figure. If I show you from this angle, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop. I'll show you from across here. Step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, step, hop. You can see quite a simple thing, but can have variations of timing to make it quite interesting. So what I'd like to show you now, if for example you had a quicker version, you can have quick, 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 quick. You can have it very exciting then. If I showed you another version, quick, 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 you can explode down the room. Now, what can be interesting is the integration of a slow and a quick version. So with yourself you can manage to practice different versions. For example, you could have 2 slow ones, then 2 quick ones. So you could have a slow and a quick and a quick. You can have the quick and then the slow. You can have the quick and the slow. So there's many opportunities. If you're very clever, you could go alternately. You could go quick, slow. Quick, slow, to make it interesting. So effectively, it's from the base step hop, producing it in a straight line can give you the excitement of the quick step. Of course, timing with this is crucial, and also, as we discussed before with the other version of the step hop, the articulation and the full usage of the feet whilst you're doing this. If you just concentrate on my feet now, as I do this, full usage of the feet, and step hop, step hop, step hop, step hop. Full usage as you're going through. And use the feet, use the feet, use the feet. Very important aspect to do with this particular step. What I'd like to move on to now, a comparatively new figure in connection with the step hops, and it's called the double bounce. As I've just mentioned, the comparatively new idea of the step hop, which is the double bounce. Double bounce is quite a new idea. It's got the excitement of the step hop, but you're bouncing twice on the same leg. I have to say there is a degree of difficulty involved with this step. It will take a little bit of practice, but we feel sure it's worthwhile to give a little bit of interest to your quick step in the step hop versions. I think during the 80s and possibly early 90s as well, one criticism we could have about all competitors is the types of step hops that were being used. It in fact got a little bit boring because it was repetition of the same kind. And I think many people have been trying to think of ideas to make it a little bit more interesting, whether it would be in shape or whether it would be in timing. And because of this, this new double bounce has materialized. So if I just go through it first of all, and I'll let you see the overall figure that it looks like, and then I'll show you in detail, for example, with the feet, what's going to happen. But first of all, the whole shape of it. So coming through from here, we've got step onto it, and we bounce again. Step onto it, and we bounce again. So it's got this double bounce. So the good way to practice this is just literally to go onto the leg and bounce twice. So you're going on and bouncing. So you're bouncing around from each leg. As I say, it's a little unusual when you first start to try this. You start to feel, well, which leg am I on? Get in the habit, doing it together, and just bouncing. Maybe a good idea just to try on each leg to get into the habit of doing the double bounce. Getting into a bit of detail now, if you'd like to go down to my feet and you can have a look at them to see what's happening in a little bit of detail now, coming into this double bounce. Ba 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 ba, etc., etc., to give a little bit of interest. The feeling, if I just do it on one leg, if you just have a look at my feet again from this position, I'm going to do it on the double bounce on the foot, double bounce, double bounce, double bounce, to get into the habit of doing it. So what I'd like to do now, I'd like to bring my partner Anne onto the floor, and we will do it together. We'll give you a basic exercise first, and then we'll show you what it's like together. Okay, Anne. So just going through from here, just exercise, double bounce, here, 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 and moving on. Of course, you wouldn't do as many as we've done. You may only do, for example, 2, or you would do 4, then you would move off into something else. We'll show you what it looks like in the full hold. We'll dance it for you twice, once through the whole body, and then once that you can see with the feet. So, ba. Now we'll dance it with the ba. Ba, ba. Okay, thank you very much. So that in fact concludes the overall theme of the step hop. We've shown you 4 developments of that. As I said before, there's lots of other opportunities with the step hop. We hope you've enjoyed them. And what we'd like to do now is to move on to our 3rd category within the Quickstep, and this is Quickstep ideas.
So that was a completely new idea for you. It was developed from the basic quick open reverse, and what we did was, rather than dancing slow, quick, quick, slow for a normal quick open reverse, what we danced there for you was all quick counts. So we danced constant quick counts, and we grouped 3 quick open reverses in quick time together. So we produced a little amalgamation for you. Now the key points here are that the steps should be exceptionally small, and both the man and the lady are constantly rotating. So of course we're moving or progressing forward down the floor, but the main feature here is the rotation, so that means small steps. So if I just turn around now, I'm going to dance it for you. I'll count the time. So I'm moving backwards as lady on my right foot, gentleman left foot. So we've got from here quick, 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 quick. And of course, because this is a quick count, it'll be danced on the toes for both man and, of course, the lady. So a nice little figure for you. And of course, in the studio here we have a restricted space, but I'm sure when you dance your competitions you'll be able to move a little more if you wish, so you can perhaps eradicate the bounce and make it a smoother action if you wish.
So you've just seen there, ladies and gentlemen, a development of the triple quick open reverse that Anne was just discussing before. This is a quick open reverse with a rondé. Again, a new idea for you. Keep it quiet. Shh. So it's a quick open reverse with a rondé. A nice feature because you've got the speed, and you've got also, what I particularly like about it, it's something to dance into the centre of the floor. I find as a competitor, when I'm dancing a quick step, there's too many people travelling on the outside of the floor, so it's nice to have something to go into the centre of the floor. And also it's got a nice highlight in the middle of it with this leg rondé, and then moving on to it again. If you feel, when you've practiced this figure, if you of course like it, of course, you could maybe decide to do 2 of them or 3 of them. It depends on your feelings and character. I think it would be nice to go down the centre of the floor. I think what I'd like to talk about here is centering. Centering would be a very key factor to something like this, of course, because the bodies could actually separate here. So just moving back here, just dancing it, feeling the centre's angle towards the lady, and I feel some sort of tone connected towards her there, and I'm maintaining that as actually I'm going through and rounding here, and going again, keeping this angle going through as I keep the tone, trying to keep the shape, the angle out as the centre is actually going in. So I'll do that for you once more. And quick, 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 slow, slow. Quick, 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 slow, slow. As you can see, comparatively simple figure in its construction, but because of the amount of energy involved with it and the speed, of course, the degree of difficulty increases. So that's another idea based on a simple figure being the quick open reverse. So, ladies and gentlemen, two comparatively new ideas for the quick step. One was the contra check, which needs no introduction, has come from the tango, and the other, the change of direction, which of course you know comes from the slow foxtrot. Anna and myself were one of the first to introduce the contra check into the quick step, introducing it at Blackpool a couple of years ago, and as you're probably aware has become very popular now and has also almost been standardized as a quick step figure. The change of direction is also becoming a popular figure in the quick step to offer a different contrast of timing, and we would like to show you today this particular exciting figure. With the contra check, as you probably have experienced with the tango, it's quite a difficult figure. And if you put a little bit of speed onto it, you can see it's a little bit difficult. What has been developed with the contra check from some couples I've noticed recently is that they do it from a comparatively stationary position and then turn and go into the contra check, which I would probably advocate and suggest you doing this in its early stages, because moving down the room, as Anna and myself do it, and then going into the contra check requires a high degree of skill to manage to be able to stop. I know in the beginning we nearly didn't stop a couple of times, but that's another story. But for the time being, I think I would suggest you doing something simple first and then pivoting, or for example then going into the contra check, as this degree of difficulty is a little bit less. With this particular figure, the usage of the feet basically to stop you off is of tremendous importance. Also, the usage of the shoulder girdle, like you would use in the contra check, to make sure that the left hand is moving back into the contra check, and also to feel that the center is also assisting in the balance factor. So if I did it once more here, so you can feel the center towards, also the feet are gripping the floor, and feel, the other thing to feel, there's a little space between the legs. If they connect through, you feel that the balance actually goes over the top. Similarly to the change of direction, you've got the same degrees of difficulty, basically because of the energy and the amount of movement. I'll just move back and show you from here. Change of direction from here, using the standing leg to push off to get the body into flight. You need to feel the control in the left leg and to let it go inside edge of foot to control, to act as a brake. Very important thing to do. So I'd just like to bring Anne onto the floor now, and I'll dance these two figures again, paying particular attention to the centres for the brakes, and as I talked before about the shoulder girdle and the foot pressure. So if I just show you once more, contra check first. Very exciting figure when you've managed to practice it. We'll do straight in front of the camera now. And once more for the change of direction. Okay, and we'll dance it down the floor now. Okay, thank you very much. That concludes those two steps. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our last figure in the Quickstep, which was the double contra point and double oversway. Now, those of you who have actually purchased the Tango tape, you would have noticed on there that we've got the contra point in the Tango, which we incorporated into our dancing a little time ago now to have a contrast to the contra check. So, in our thoughts of development for figures for the Quickstep, we thought, maybe it's a good idea to incorporate the contra point in the Quickstep. So, as you've seen there, we do the contra point here, we come back to normal position, and we do it again. And we change over to the oversway, and just to make it balanced, we drop into an oversway as well. As you can see, the actual pattern of the steps is very simple, but we feel with the speed of the music, it gives it a little bit of interest and a little bit of typical Quickstep fun character. So we hope that you enjoy this step. What I'd like to do now, I'd like to bring Anne onto the floor, and I'd like to connect two of the figures together. We danced for you before the change of direction. So I'll just show you what we're going to do first before Anne actually comes on the floor. We're going to dance the change of direction, which we discussed before, into this contra point double and the double oversway. We'd like to leave you with this figure, and we'll come back a little bit later and to do a conclusion. But for the moment, we'd like to show you this particular figure.
So, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving towards the conclusion of this tape regarding the Quickstep. But we'd like to leave you with a few thoughts just before we finish. As John mentioned at the beginning of this tape, the Quickstep has moved away from its original swing type of actions. And of course, we would still encourage you strongly to learn and understand these basic figures. They're an enormous help to the Quickstep. But of course today, competitively, things have changed very much, and therefore we're encouraging you to be imaginative in both your timings and your step patterns. John and I would also like to tell you that one of the nicest memories we ever had was in the 1990 World Championships held in the Budokan Hall. That was probably the most exciting and enjoyable Quickstep we've ever danced. And finally, we've had a lot of fun here today making this video. All the cameramen and the technicians here have been trying these figures, and we've had an awful lot of fun. And so we'd also like to thank you for your help and assistance making these videos. So from now, we'd just like to say thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.